when I came, the gigs at the Montreal, does anyone have a gig schedule out there we can announce? Pop Montreal. That's where his gig's at, Pop Montreal. I don't know what time, but obviously pretty soon. Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. I wanted to ask all three of the players, are you guys all playing together while you're here? First of all, because you're all here, and it'd be nice to see you all play together again.
We'd love to do that too, but I think we have different gigs. That was very positive. I'm horny for that.
Is it something that? Is it something that could happen in the future?
Oh, it's going to happen in the future.
All right, well that's great.
The second part of the question is, George, you once said, if you free your mind, your ass will follow. And I think the effect of your music is the opposite. If you free your ass, your mind will follow. Do you agree with that? And what was the first song, if you do agree with that freed your ass so your mind will follow and brought us to this place?
Wow, I free my ass and my mind.
I'll tell you what it was.
What was it?
I called my baby Pussy.
Well, I tell you what, when we did the Free Your Mind, Your Ass Will Follow, we did that album in one day, and we was tripping our ass off. So if you could follow your mind at that speed, your ass would be right behind you for real. Because we were tripping, and we didn't want to ever have to try to wait to make another single again. So we made one record that was so far out there that nobody would dare ask us, stay in your bag. Because we was all over the place on that record. Free Your Mind. And what got me was like, in the 80s when I did the Chili Peppers, that happened to be the record they liked the most by us. We thought it was something we were just doing to get out of us. To most of the punk rock kids, that's the best album we've done. So you really don't know what you think you know. You just have to do it and trust that what you're doing is all right.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you for everything. Bootsy, you once said, my emphasis was always music first, drugs second, getting laid third. And
He lied. He changed.
When you first met George, you said George wasn't getting any pussy at the time when we first met. All the chicks were scared of him. Can you elaborate on that?
They used to call me the Prince of the No Pussy Getting Club.
Tell us about the chick that came in the dressing room.
When I first met Bootsy in Cincinnati at the club called the Graveyard.
Graveyard, yeah.
Girl walks in, she said, I'm gonna fuck me a Funkadelic tonight. And she looked around the room, looked at me and said, not you. That's when I was running around with my head shaved.
That was pre-colored dreads.
Oh, yeah, that was very Matter of fact, I had a dick carved in my head, started on this side, and a sheet on with nothing under it. You might see a little video, they show the video sometimes. I'm sitting on the floor, holding up, trying to play it off, I'm tripping my ass off. I'm trying to look like I'm cool, And she walks right in and looks at me and says, not you. And from then on, Bootsy's brother Catfish, and Bootsy called me the president of the No Pussy Getting Club. That went on for years. Till I bought a spaceship.
All right. Joey from Singing Worldwide Productions. I had a really great childhood.
And one of the first albums that I ever had that I really respected was Parliament albums, and I just really want to thank you for your contribution.
Which one?
Oh, I had a whole bunch of them. Probably still have them right in my collection right there. So I did have the pleasure to meet Mr. Clinton in Chicago, because you guys were rehearsing at my building, and it was quite a surprise to me to come around the corner and be greeted with you face to face, and all he did was, instead of reaching out and shaking my hand, he gave me a big hug. Wow. And it just blew my mind. It was pretty cool.
He didn't give you a joint with it?
I think so.
Shame on you.
But I just wanted to thank you guys for your contribution to music. It's one of my favorite periods of all time, and influenced the whole world. And I had one question I always wondered about, because as a kid you had me convinced you guys were from another planet. For 2 months I actually thought you guys were aliens.
The dog stars. The planet Sirius.
Exactly. But how hard or easy was it when you came up with the concept for the live show with all the props and everything for the record company to sit down and talk about that? Was that hard or easy?
It was easy because we had to hit record first, which was We Want the Funk, Tear the Roof Off. And Neil Bogart was a promotion man himself. So I knew I wasn't going to get my money on the back end from no record company. So I said,
Might as well spend
you might as well spend it on something that works for you. I think, get me, the spaceship, and I can take care of it from there. He went and got me a loan at the first LA bank, $1 million. And everybody got a car. I told him you get a house or a car. Everybody in the bank got cars. I got the spaceship. And we went on tour, what was that, 76?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And we stayed on tour with that thing all the way up to the 90s. So that was a good investment. Matter of fact, it's in the Smithsonian now. We gave it to the Smithsonian Institute. That's where it's parked at. It'll open up in 2015, right next to the Tuskegee Airmen's plane.
I have one question I wanted to ask. I always wanted to ask this. Felipe Wynn, one of my favorite singers of all time. How did you convince him to leave the Spinners, hit records and everything, that could come with you guys?
We did. They fired him. But check this out. He was with Bootsy.
Oh yeah.
Prior to going to the Spinners.
Well, the reason we came to Detroit before we even met George was because the Spinners had called us, Billy, wanting a band, wanting us to be the band. And at the time they needed a lead vocalist as well. So Felipe was already with us. So we went to Detroit, all of us went to Detroit, and once Malia Franklin told me about George, and see, I was more interested in...
That's how you made the hookup with George, going to Detroit?
Yeah.
For the Spin. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Malia...
She was one of the parlettes.
Yeah. And that's how we...
I mean, to me, Felipe Wynn's one of my favorite singers of all time.
Man,
he doesn't get the recognition at all that he should.
Well, let me tell you how it really happened, though. He had left the Spinners, he was in the studio. We had just finished Knee Deep.
Yeah.
It was finished. He said, hey, Bub, that's what he called me, hey, Bub, you got to smash there, but it really ain't finished till I'm on there. And I said, now, I know he tells the truth right here. He definitely tells the truth. If I can find a spot for him to be on it, he tells the truth. I said, well, what's it going to cost me? He said, well, it's going to be $25,000 and 25%. I said, damn. I said, what about 10,000 and 10%? Put up the mic. He walked in there and got, could this be me? Emerged. I said, it's it. And he went on through the whole song, doing his thing. And that's when Knee Deep became the hardest song in the world to mix, like I told you, 4 minutes into 15 minutes. But it had so much good stuff.
How many takes did you do on the vocal?
Two
takes.
Matter of fact, the second version of we get ready to put it out now, with them doing his other parts on the second. He did another another take, and Michael Hampton did another guitar solo. So you're going to hear it pretty soon.
Oh, Amazing.
with that stuff. Humpty did some stuff on the tape.
But
That's what my boys do.
that's such a classic vocal. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
he was bad with the spinners.
His ad-libs on the Spinners records were just...
It made the record. I mean, Rubber Band Man, I used to say, I don't like this, but I know the minute you say you don't like something, you just co-sign it.
Yeah.
And that record went on to be just what it was supposed to be.
But Arthur, you know what's funny about back in the day for me was once the artists start making records, that to me is when they really lost what they had. Even us, including us. I mean, because if it wasn't for George, I probably wouldn't have found the more of the commercial side of me, because I wasn't looking for that. But, you know, I was more into, coming out of James' thing, it was like the show band. You know, it's like, you know, you and then you break it down, and you know, you got all these emotional things going on, you know.
What did I tell you about that?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And so, with the Ohio players, everybody thought they was bad when, they, you know, you heard those new records. Didn't nobody see them before they made them records. I did. And they're the ones that made me say, oh man, we got to go back to the basement. I mean, you know, and we just coming from, well, no, this is before we went with James Brown. You know, seeing the Ohio players and all these different groups before they had records,
Right. So
made us like,
pushed you.
yeah, yeah.
They had so many breaks in their songs. Dynamics, they was full of James Brown dynamics.
Yeah.
And I said, don't do that all night, Bootsy.
We did a whole show. We did one whole, I remember this one time. Let me just tell this one thing. George, you know, told me, you know, go ahead and practice. You got this one show and da-da-da-dee. And we said, okay, you know, I'm going to practice the band. I'm gonna, you know, we're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. So I had the band. And we just rehearsed. George didn't know what the heck we were going to do. So we got on stage. You know, we was the opening act. I mean, we killed it. We hit them with everything. I mean, everything I can think of, we hit them with. I came back, and the people were like, they were just like looking. They didn't know what to do. You know, they didn't know what to do because we was just hitting them all upside the head. And I came back saying, George said, you know, he was trying to be nice, you know. And you can tell George when he's trying to be nice. He get these little puppy eyes happening. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just simmer it down a little bit. You know, you got a little bit too much hits going on. You know, give me some groove. He said, you remember them James Brown grooves y'all was doing? I was like, yeah, but I'm sick of them. You know, I want to, I'm taking this acid. I want to do this. You know, he's like, no, you gotta tame it down a little bit. So he's the reason I kind of backed off of that and started using them in places that made sense. You know, and we started giving them back the groove. And George, and it worked. Yeah, it worked. It worked.
Hi, I'm Steve Native. I want to thank you guys. I want to ask, you know, when I was in junior high school, I was like a drummer in a little rock band. And at night I'd lay with the transistor radio on to plug in my ear, and I thought I had KRLA, the local rock station, but the dial had slipped, and it was the mighty 1090. And next thing you know, Wolfman Jack's coming on. And he's doing like, you know, doing Chartbusters, the Parliaments. And I Want to Testify came on. And that song is, when you got to that ooh, luscious part, man, I was done, man. So we started doing that and just got into the whole thing. And as a young drummer, it seemed to me like the crack in the dam happened as far as drum part and all that. And I know there's no funk without the bass and the drums, but it seemed to me the dam cracked with I Got the Feeling with that thing. And I just wondering if you guys had any thought about just the funk drumming, and if there's a tune or a time when you felt like everything started changing, it was all going to open up and go somewhere else.
Motown for me. That was the Motown band on Testify. James Jamerson, you know, and all of them. They were the first label. They were the first label to actually have elected